Hey everyone, it's Wendy Hutchinson with The Path of Me and Alinea Life Coaching. I wanted to wish you all Happy New Year. I know it's the 10th of January 2020, so I'm a little late off the mark, but I took some time off and yeah, that was the story. I just took some time off and I was kind of cruising for a little bit. But I'm back and I wanted to wish you all Happy New Year. I know a lot of you have ambitious agendas and resolutions probably, and you're looking to really create magic in your lives. So I wanted to give a little perspective on what 2019 was about and what 2020 is about. It's not really a forecast, but this is just kind of what I'm picking up as an intuitive and what my reality was in 2019 and what I feel it's going to be in 2020. So first of all, the good news is I feel like 2020 is going to be a huge year of change. And the reason it is going to be a year of change is because there's a tremendous amount of truth and clarity that is going to be coming up for people. And what that looks like is our own personal truths, for one thing, which is really important because so many of us are experts at burying our truth or not aligning with our truth in our everyday lives. We are very much stuck in patterns and programs of people pleasing. And when we do that, we are more concerned with showing up for everyone else's agenda instead of aligning with our truth. So that's one aspect of it. There's going to be some clarity around that. So ask yourself where you are doing that in your life. And it's not just about that. There are some other aspects of clarity which may come up. We are entering a time when the Earth's frequencies are rising. We are literally being bombarded by intense energetic frequency on the planet right now. If you are familiar with the Schumann resonance, you might want to go back and check the markers and the readings for the Schumann resonance. The Schumann resonance is basically a measurement that was developed in the Soviet Union by scientists there that measures the frequency between the Earth's surface and the outer limits of the Earth's atmosphere. So it basically measures the charge of frequency around the planet. So when there are solar flares and things are happening on the galactic stage that impact the Earth's energetic field and frequency, you'll see spikes in the Schumann resonance. Sometimes you'll see complete whiteouts in the Schumann resonance, which is a very recent phenomenon when it's just like completely off the charts. So that's something to check out if you have an interest. But anyway, there are a lot of shifts and things happening on the planet's surface. There's a huge amount of clearing happening. I think we're going to see a lot more natural disasters. We are seeing flooding. We're seeing fires. There are going to be more earthquakes. And another thing I'm noticing is a lot of people are transitioning and passing on. And that is by natural causes, also by suicide. And my personal perspective around that is, and it's my perspective only, you can agree or not, that's totally fine. But my perspective is really that this is happening because the frequencies are rising. And so as humans living on the planet's surface, our frequencies have to rise as well. And in order to ascend and remain on the planet's surface, we need to raise our vibrations. So that's part of what this truth is about. It's about encouraging us to get real honest about what we are inviting into our fields: foods, behaviors, habits, addictions, thoughts, relationships. Every aspect of our lives is going to be a little bit shaken this year as we get clarity and are forced to make decisions that align with our truth. So there's that. But back to people transitioning, some souls will find it easier to transition and ascend without holding the density of the human vehicle. And so just pay attention. You'll see there's going to be an increase and uptick in people who are kind of dying of natural causes or taking their lives or being involved in some of these huge earth shakeups, earthquakes or natural disasters. So I just thought I'd bring and draw some attention to that for you. Now, 2019 for me there was such a polarity to it because there was so much magic and incredible travel and incredible personal growth for me. But what I found is the more I grow and expand on a conscious level personally, usually there are some really adverse conditions that happens under. It's kind of like a pressure cooker. It's just like, expanding our consciousness and elevating who we are as people is not a walk in the park. There's usually some intense shit happening in your life. And I'm not going to go into detail, but last year was brutal, man. It it brought me to my knees on several occasions. But what I learned the most about myself is, one, I can be in the middle of chaos and I don't have to take that chaos on myself. So there can be a lot of craziness happening around me, but I have a choice to remain in my alignment and to be an observer and detach from it all and not be sucked in. So last year was such a great opportunity for me to master that. Master certain levels of detachment, master unconditional love, to show up in a healthy way in all my relationships and not a codependent way. So 2019 was really about opportunities for me to master myself. And it takes work and it takes conscious choices. So if you are being presented with situations, and I think many of you will be because of this frequency change on the planetary surface, people who are resisting and who don't want to make lifestyle changes or mindset changes or align with their truth, if they're just complete frauds in every aspect of their lives, their realities are going to start to crumble. And that's going to look like drama and chaos. And if they're related to you or friends with you or in your work circle or friend circle, you're going to witness this happening to people. So look at this as an opportunity to really detach. You're not here to solve anyone's problems. You're not here to heal people. You're not here to make other people's crises and dramas easier to bear. They are experiencing those things for their own soul growth. So do not make the mistake of responding in a codependent way. And if you even have I hope you have an inkling of how you're relating to the people around you, but Codependent No More is a great book. I was a classic codependent for many, many years. And I was told probably 11 years ago that I should read that book by my therapist because I was such a codependent person. And it took me a couple of years to actually pick it up, because I'm like, I'm not codependent. I don't know what you're talking about. Well, I opened that book and damn if I was on every single page of that book. I was so codependent and I created so many unhealthy relationships. And so to heal that aspect of myself, I had to read that book and own my shit. And it was really hard. But once you become healthier, once you raise your vibration, once you align with yourself and your soul, and you stop sacrificing bits and pieces of yourself to make other people happy, that is where the magic starts to happen. That is where you start to come into alignment. And when you come into alignment, you're dropping density, which would be these old programs and behaviors that don't serve you at all. And you're rising. Your frequency and energetic signature, the energy you hold in your field is actually rising and expanding. And with that rise, your life starts to reflect that. So as you become more aligned with your soul and your truth, your frequency rises and your reality starts gradually shifting, and you'll notice things are changing in your life. For me, things like front row parking. I still get it all the time. I always get front row parking. I get great parking wherever I go. That was like one of the first little God winks or synchronicities that I noticed as I started on this journey and started to become more at peace and more loving towards myself and accepting of who I am and being able to show up in a more open-hearted way to everyone around me. I noticed that was one of the small things. So look for those little synchronicities, and God winks as you start to shift and change and become more aligned with who you really are. And it's a process, so be kind to yourself throughout the process. But that's what 2019 was really for me. It was really about alignment and mastery. There were so many opportunities to master myself, and I took every one. And I had to really dig into my spiritual toolbox to do so. And that looked like practicing gratitude always. It looked like meditation and connection to myself on a daily basis. It looked like setting boundaries, because when you're healthy and you have a healthy relationship with yourself and you honor your time and your truth and your soul, you set boundaries with people. And you know what? People don't like that. People who are unhealthy themselves do not like it when you set boundaries, because they want you to just conform to everything that their agenda suggests, whatever that looks like. So setting boundaries is a real critical piece of self-care and self-love. Anyway, that's kind of how 2019 went for me. And you know what was also so interesting to me that I noticed? I noticed that I was kind of closing out these karmic wheels. I was healing these karmic ties with people who have really challenged me my entire life. And it was so interesting because it wasn't really intentional. It was more energetic. But as I showed up by circumstance to certain places or times or events, I found that these relationships that had formerly really triggered me were healing and shifting and alchemized in a beautiful way. And I feel like, in a way, 2019 for me was really a year of completion. It was a year of completion. And I had this vision. I had a lucid dream, a couple of lucid dreams, but I'll share one with you here that kind of confirmed that for me. And so the dream was, a lucid dream, first of all, is a dream where you're dreaming, but you're actually aware that you're dreaming. So you're like an observer. You're in the dream, but you're also observing the dream consciously, like you're awake, like watching a movie. So I get those a lot, pretty much every night, and they usually have some sort of message for me. But it was so interesting because so I was looking at, for those of you who are older like me, I was looking at a VCR player. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's like a very old version of a DVD player, but the tapes are like super thick, like bricks. And I pushed the eject button, and this tape came out, and my feeling and knowing was that was my entire life to this point. And it was, the tape was full, like to the absolute max capacity. So that tape came out. It was like my entire being, my entire life to this point was taken out. And I had this feeling and knowing like that was going to go into some sort of record, galactic records data bank or something, my entire history. And then I saw myself take a new blank VCR tape and push it in. And the feeling was like, you're just on the verge of stepping into your power, you know, into your new life, into your greatness. And it's the tape is completely blank. So you get to create whatever you feel called to do. So last year was endings, and I had this dream at the very end of the year. So this is so interesting, right? The synchronicities I'm always paying attention to. So I had the dream at the end of the year, and the feeling was rolling into this year that this is really going to be a year where I have an opportunity to show up as my highest and best self. You know, I've done all of this inner work for years and years and years, and it felt like a lot of that has completed, and now I get to step forward fully aligned with my life purpose. So my hope for you is that you guys are going to get some clarity around these things I'm talking about. You know, difficult challenges might come up for you, and they're presenting for you to really dial in and get curious about what that's about for you, because those are aspects of self being triggered for healing and reflection. There are opportunities for you to align with your authentic self. You're going to get clarity around what's good for you and what's not good for you, I think, and feel. And that's about it. I just wanted to put these thoughts out there for you. So get curious about what is serving you right now, what you want to leave behind. I felt like we kind of went through a filter and left everything that wasn't supposed to come through with us in 2019 as we step into this new decade and create our new lives. So that's about it. I guess I should plug myself, since I am a spiritual and life coach. I help people with the ascension process, but also with day-to-day life coaching and helping to achieve your goals and providing accountability and stuff. The name of my company is Alinea Life Coaching, and I also do energy work that helps you to come into alignment with your highest aspects of self to source. And there's so much more to it, but you can call me or email me if you feel you want to ask some questions about that. I'm going to put all my contact information at the bottom and at the end of this video. So Happy New Year, you guys. I hope you have a fantastic year, and set the intentions, create your vision board, you know, get really motivated. But the main thing really is to honor your body, honor your soul, learn to love yourself unconditionally, and really just do your best every day. So we'll talk to you later. You guys all take care of yourselves, be kind to yourselves. I'll have a couple more interviews coming up in the next couple weeks. I look forward to sharing those with you, and have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.